Hi, this is Illuminated Readings, and this is going to be a reading for the sign of Aquarius between the week of the 25th to the 31st of August. Let's begin. So coming into the week, I feel like you've been coming in with a lot of passion. You're moving, whatever you're doing in your life, you're very passionate about it. You're very adventurous and confident with, your life and whatever's been going on. This is coming into the week, but out of nowhere, I get some sort of illusion has appeared before you. Some sort of illusion has appeared before you, or some sort of daydream, and what's it could even be anxiety that's linked to it, but it's definitely some sort of illusion that's coming up for you, and it's making you feel at a loss. It's making you feel it's making you feel at a loss. I don't know what this is in regards to. It could be career, it could be relationships, but it's something that's making you feel at a loss. This is coming into the week. I see you at the beginning of the week feeling very trapped. You're feeling almost imprisoned. I don't know if this is mentally, if this is physically. Feeling trapped, like you can't get out and do things, or I feel like it's most mental. I think it's because her eyes are closed and she's got a blindfold on. I feel like it's sort of like it's in your mind. You're feeling imprisoned. Whatever this is, it's an illusion. It's what you need to realize. And this is at the beginning of the week. Whatever this is that's coming in for you, I don't know where it's coming from. I feel like it's quite spiritual. It might be a spirit, or might be a little trickster spirit hanging around you, trying to confuse you. But I see you, beforehand, being in a very, very good energy, passionate, inspired, very adventurous. You want to go and off and do a million things. You want to travel the world. You've got big plans, basically, and then all of a sudden, you've got this energy coming in, the moon energy, which is basically like illusion. But I see you being very negative, thinking very negatively about whether yourself. I feel like this has got to do with you, not with anyone else. I feel like this is you. You're feeling very negative toward yourself, and you're just like really feeling trapped because of whatever this is. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something to do with your past. It's something to do with your past. It's something that happened a long time ago, um, where things were very dark in your life. I feel like there's a big darkness around you, and you sort of like you didn't know what you were doing. You kind of were just going with the punches, rolling with the punches, as they say. You were like just traversing through life and doing the best that you could. But I see it was very dark around you at that point in time. Um, but I see you coming into a much better energy of realizing that no, you do have the inner strength. You do have the inner strength to, you do have the inner strength to overcome whatever this is. Maybe you have overcome it. Maybe it's just an illusion that's just coming up. I don't know where it's coming up from, to be honest. But it's something that is definitely coming up for you. That maybe it's just you're thinking about things and planning, and then all of a sudden, it's just this thing just pops up. Um, I feel like it could be some haters around you, some kind of haters that very intently watching you. and you're just sort of annoyed by the situation. I feel like it, and it's reminding you of a point where you, where you were almost in poverty. It doesn't have to be physical poverty, material poverty. It can be emotional poverty. It can be spiritual poverty. It could be poverty of oneself, where you don't exactly know who you are or what you're doing, or why you're here on this planet. But I see you breaking out of it, and you're gonna do it really quickly. You've got zero fear over here. It's like I just see you yanking the lion's head up, going, "Hey, put my hand in. Let me put my hand in." And the lion's like, "Hey, what you doing?" So I feel like it's kind of like this sort of situation. Yeah, you're going to realize how resilient you are during the week. You're going to be like, look, that's not me. That's not my story anymore. Like, I've gone through that already. I'm quite strong. I'm sitting pretty. And I see you moving into, by the end of the week, a much beautiful energy. You're going to be feeling very strong, very courageous within yourself. You see here, there's one lion here, right? And then there's two lions here. So you're feeling a lot stronger by the end of the week. You're going to be feeling very, very strong. It's going to be on either side of you, meaning that you're going to be very courageous, very strong. And I see you being protected, very protected as well, in the spiritual plane from spirits. I think this is a spirit. I think this is the spirit. It could be a trickster, some sort of entity where you live. Some sort of spirit is making you feel like this, and it's got to do with people that are around you that are very envious and they're hating on you, and he's basically coming in and sort of tricking you into this sort of energy, but you're realizing, hey, that's not me. Where's this coming from? And then you sort of going, open your mouth and sticking your hand in the lion's mouth. And then you're going to be in this energy by the end of the week. So I feel like it's a very good week for you to realize who you are. I think maybe you've been kind of like swept along, with life, because you've just been adventurous. You've just been having fun, being passionate about. Adventurous could be anything. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be emotional. It could be spiritual. It could be mentally. It could be anything really. You're just being adventurous. You're trying new things. Curious about. Okay, let me try this. It's very inspired action that I always wanted to do this. Let me try this. I don't know. I actually do really love this energy, because it's like I've never done this before. Let me try it. Let me try this. Let me try that. It's quite fun energy, to be honest. And then obviously you get into this sort of funk that happens. But I see you by the end of the week, you're going to be very protected as well from spirit. Heavily protected. You have some spirits around you that are looking out for you. I feel like you're not aware of them. I feel like you might not be fully connected to your spirituality at this point in time. It's like you've got all. It's like you've got your front is very fancy. Like not pause. Wait, hold on. Not like that. I mean, like, your front is very fancy in terms of like spirituality. You say a lot, right? But it's like in this card, how far, her clothes are really amazing. But then she's got these little tiny shoes down there. She's wearing like these little tiny shoes, and I feel like your shoes are very tiny in regards to you knowing about these spirits that are around you, that are looking out for you. But they almost, I feel a very loving feeling from them. They really love you, and they I don't know what kind of beings these are, but they're definitely beings that really love you, for you, because of you, of who you are and what you represent and what you idolize. I see you idolize happiness. You idolize beauty, not beauty, but like a beauty of the joy of beauty, the beauty of joy, the joy. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's like your intention is to have the best possible time, to have a joyful life, to have a you know, be happy, to be in delight, to be in a warmth, you know, be in warmth, be in a positive energy. There we go. Yeah. Your aim is to have, you know, be in a positive energy, and I see you try to radiate that energy outwards to other people so that they feel happy as well in some way. Things may have not been the best for you, but you'll accept that as life, basically. Um, so yeah, by the end of the week, you're going to be fulfilled. When you get into this Queen of Wands energy, your creativity is going to spike, and you're going to be very clever. Yeah, you're going to be clever with your business. I don't know what this business is, but you're going to be, whatever this business is, you're going to be very clever with it. I'm channeling something here. You might have something that might try distracting you, something that's quite flashy. Try to avoid following that flashy distraction. It's gonna, I don't know what it is, but it's gonna come through during the week. But yeah, you're gonna be sitting pretty by the end of the week. You're gonna be very creative. You're gonna be very clever with your business. You know, business could be you, you know, the way you talk with people, the way you what you share with people, what you know, what you do day to day. It can go many ways, but you're just going to be very clever about your business. It could be financial, it could be love, but you're going to be fulfilled. You're going to be very fulfilled. You're going to be taking the reins back in your life and being more, you know, being not more, but being in charge of your life, of where it's going. And you're going to be very practical and confident about yourself. You're going to have the clarity at the end of the week of what's right for you, what's right for you, and what's wrong for you. You're going to be able to very easily differentiate between the two, moving forwards in every situation. This situation, whatever this means, this illusion is going to give you some sort of, you know, it's going to help you realize your strength and amplify your strength. And you're going to go from 1 lion to 2 lions, and you know, you have a cat here as a little cat, so that's probably 3 lions. You know, cats are lions as well. You know, they're quite feisty, some of them. So your challenge for the week is not believing that you have already succeeded in, you know, overcoming this energy here. Your challenge for the week is realizing that you've already been there. You know, you don't have to stay in this energy. Your challenge for the week is to realize that you've already progressed from this. You've already been victorious. You know, this thing has already happened to you. whenever it did, and you already overcame it. And you're going to realize this really quickly, I believe. But this is your challenge for the week, is to actually realize that, I've gone through this. I've actually succeeded in dealing with whatever this is. I feel like it's an emotion, or an idea or a thought, something that's affected you beforehand. And you need to realize that, this is not my story, anymore. I've already progressed. I've already been victorious, and to be enthusiastic about the fact that you have been victorious in this situation. Not to say that, I have to go through this again or whatever, but no, it's already been done. And I see you, another big challenge for your week this week is the fact that you need to acknowledge that you are the leader, you are the master of your life, you are the one in control, you are the one that makes the final say, so the final decision in whichever way things happen for you, because of the way, wherever you put your money, wherever you put your word, wherever you put your whatever you do basically is what you get, cause and effect. Basically, you're well aware of this, and I see you sort of like, you go wherever you go, it's like almost like you make your intentions very clear to people. And your challenge here is basically realizing that you're already this person. You're quite, you're a leader. You are already somebody that is in charge of themselves. They're not just things happening to them. You make things happen. Things don't happen to you. That's maybe what you mean to say. You also need to realize that you can be fulfilled. You can be fulfilled. You can be where you want to be. Things don't have to keep going in the same situations. They won't always do that. It's just a temporary thing. Nothing lasts forever. And this is something that you need to be more aware of during this week. You also need to realize and be more truthful with yourself. You need to be more honest and empathetic towards yourself. Not just going around and being like, who's my next victim? Because I see you have a lot of strength here. You're able to do this. You're able to just go around and cut people's heads off, not literally, but figuratively speaking, or metaphorically speaking. But you're able to go on. I see you have this very strong power about you, and you don't let up very easily, Aquarius. Like, once you set your eyes on something, it's almost like it's like a hawk. You're like a hawk. You have no what's the word I'm looking for? You have no indecisiveness about this. You're willing to get to the bottom of all situations. I'm seeing there's 4 people that might be significant in your life. I don't know in what way. I feel like there's 4 people that have really had a significant impact on you when you're at your lowest. This might be on different times in your life. But I'm also seeing that there's a guy that you really, really detest. You could be a guy yourself or a woman, but there's a guy that you really, really detest. And you've had this situation where, with this person, where you found your strength. You found out that you take no bullshit, basically. But anyway, your challenge for this week, I would say, is just to be more truthful with yourself. Be honest, be empathetic towards yourself, love yourself, right? And you can come up to a conclusion. I mean, your willpower is very strong. You can see this here. But you just need to realize that this is just something that's already happened. It's not something that is your story right now. It's not something that is who you are, because you've been in this energy. It's been really, you've been having fun living life. It's a really great energy, to be honest. Prior coming into the week, and then all of a sudden this stuff all happens. but I feel like you will be able to get through it. But you just need to believe in yourself a lot more. You need to be more enthusiastic about who you are. You need to be that, you know, you've been through this, you mean what you say, and you don't like bullshit. I can see this here. You don't like bullshit at all. But you need to just realize that, you know, you are who you think you are. Okay, get you one more card. So your outcome for this week is that you're going to be growing. You're going to be growing and planning. You're going to be growing and planning on how to grow more. This is your outcome for the week, and this could be in regards to anything basically. But it's gonna sort of like it's like a little hurricane coming in, and then by the end of the week you're going to be a lot better. That hurricane's going to put you in a better place if you go through the shadow work of this week. Which is obviously to believe in yourself and to believe that you've been through this situation before, and that you can be fulfilled. You can have that life you want. You can be who you want to be because you already have been living that way. But it's looking like a very positive week for you. Unfortunately, you know, at the beginning you do have this energy, but it will go away really quickly, I believe. And by the end of the week, you'll be feeling a lot better. So I'm going to leave your reading here. If you did like the reading, leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall see you soon.